Here's Trump coming out. It's hard to find something cringier than that song. It really, really is. Like it's particularly combined with Silver Spoon New Yorker, you know? It's very tough to figure out something cringier. I want to say a huge thank you to Desiree DeLong for signing up on my website with the coupon code Dystopian Rally. Wow, multiple angles of Trump flapping his hands. We're going to be hearing from him very soon. Let's make sure that we are in HD. Also, a big thank you to Donna Pitty. Donna Pitty just signing up at joinpakman.com. Coupon code Dystopian Rally. Folks, this is the day. If you've been thinking, maybe I'll get a membership on the David Pakman Show website. Maybe I'll do it. There is no better day than today. We have the coupon code Dystopian Rally going. It saves you. Okay? You use it, you save. It's so much I can't say it because then my accountant gets after me. My lawyer gets after me. Everybody gets after me. They come to me. They say, sir, it's too big of a discount, but we're doing it. You can use that code today at joinpakman.com. This will be a dystopian rally. It's starting in mere moments. Thanks to Emily Morgan. The ladies are just signing up. They're dumping in massive memberships today. Thanks to Emily Morgan for signing up. It sounds criminal what people are doing on my website. I'm not going to lie. It actually does. James Montalbano says, sir, it is literally the worst song of all time. I hate this song. I really do. I hate it. I hate it.
Wow. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody.
Trying to get some volume for us.
And a very, very special hello to a very, very special place, Georgia. Thank you.
Ooh, very slurry today already.
I want to congratulate a team that we all love, the Georgia Bulldogs. That was a big win. You obviously have one of the best teams in the nation. That's looking like a fact. We have one of their players from a few years ago with us tonight.
Thanks, Patricia and John, by the way, for the memberships.
A special man. I'm thrilled to be back in this magnificent state with thousands of hardworking, God-fearing, freedom-loving.
Do you think putting blacks for Trump always on camera is something that is just kind of like standard now? Like if you're a Republican and there are black people, you just got to put them on camera?
You have great, great people running. Many of them are right here. Hello, Marjorie.
Oh, God.
With your help, we're going to take back the House and send Nancy Pelosi back to San Francisco.
Whoa.
Where she can work very hard to bring back a city which she has helped to very much.
So this is actually really relevant. Starting to talk about we're going to take the House. Remember, guys, I told you. We're going to flip the election, the fraud, the audits, all this stuff. We're going to flip. It's going to be November, December, January. Eventually, it's just going to be, hey, guys, it's the midterms. We got to take back the House. This seems to be the start of that transition.
Take back our country from these lunatics. In just 8 months, Joe Biden and the radical Democrats are well on their way to turning America into a third world nation. That's what's happening. You see it here as much as anybody. I told you so during the election and during the campaign. Inflation is skyrocketing. Unemployment is rising at a level that nobody can believe. Main streets are being boarded up. Murders are through the roof. You look at what's happening in these Democrat-run cities. Violent gangs are drugged out. Vagrants are taking over our big cities, our once great cities. Corruption is rampant.
Remember, I do have a segment outlining this idea of violent Democrat-run cities. It's probably, you know, it'll take 8 to 10 minutes to straighten people out on it, but it's worth checking out that clip so you know what to say when people mention this stuff. Also, I see the memberships dumping in. At this rate, we're going to be at 100 in no time, folks. What's interesting is Blacks for Trump sometimes only stay for part of the rally. Like the last rally, it started with a lot of the Blacks for Trump folks up behind Trump. Within about 40 minutes, they were gone. And like it happened very quietly. It was strange. They were just gone. And it led people to speculate they are paid to be there. I have no evidence to suggest that's the case.
Save America. We're talking about saving, remember? We had Make America Great Again. Then I said, oh boy, now we have to do it again because what they've done. So we had Make America Great Again. Again. We made it great. Now we got to make it great again. That begins with an earth-shattering win in November 2022. And by the way, we never forget.
Guys, they're just going to the midterms.
Most corrupt election in the history of our country.
Here we go.
Most corrupt election in the history of most countries. To be followed by an even more glorious victory.
Sir, are you aware of what happens in Russia's elections?
We're going to have a big, big, beautiful victory. If we have a country left in 2024, that's the problem. We're going to have a country left. What they're doing at this level, you're not going to have a country left. There's no greater crisis facing our nation today than the catastrophe on our southern border. You've been watching it, and a lot of the fake news, and you got a lot of them back. Look at all of those fake news people. Wow.
No new material, kind of notable, right? Just nothing new.
You no favor, they're doing you no favor, and they're doing themselves no favor. American sovereignty is being extinguished by the deliberate and willful policies put in place by Joe Biden and the left-wing extremists he has installed in power. I don't know if Joe is exactly involved. I don't know. I don't know.
That's
really
the dementia joke.
But somebody's really screwing up our country. They're
right.
Destroying our country. In Del Rio, Texas, you've been watching. Tens of thousands of illegal immigrants have overrun our borders in recent days while laughing in the faces of our Border Patrol agents. And they're going after the riders of the horses, not the people that came in illegally. Isn't that incredible? And they've just put them under watch. They're in big trouble, the riders of those horses. Most people would say they were doing one hell of a job, right? Don't you think?
Remember, guys, they weren't whipping anybody because they didn't have whips. They were whipping people with reins, but okay.
If I were your president, and we should have been your president. 75 million votes. When I was in the White House, illegal aliens knew that if they broke our laws and trespassed across our borders, they would be caught, they would be detained, and they would be thrown out of our country very rapidly. So they didn't come. They didn't come. Because it was not worth the trip, and then you have to go back. It wasn't worth the trip. When they made the statement, come with open arms, the world is coming into our country. They're emptying their...
What's funny is one of the reasons Joe Biden's being criticized is he's deporting the Haitians too quickly without actually figuring out who has a valid claim for asylum. That's one of the criticisms.
They're emptying their prisons into our country. We're having people coming into our country that we do not want. We do not want. Under my administration, we ended catch and release. We shut down asylum fraud. We struck historic agreements with Mexico and Central American nations to stop illegal immigration, and we deported dangerous criminal aliens by the tens of thousands, including MS-13 killers. We got them out by the thousands. We built almost 500 miles of powerful border wall, and it was tough because we had to go through 2.5 years of litigation against Democrats that were suing us, including Congress. We created the most secure border in the history of the United States of America. And the wall could have been finished in a month. They didn't want to finish the wall. This is not even believable. It took us, we were building at record rates, but we had to get the approval from the courts. 2.5 years of fighting and winning 11 different cases. Now Joe Biden has thrown the border wide open, and our country is being invaded by hundreds.
Now, you guys know, like, nothing's actually changed at the border. Nothing's any more wide open, other than the fact that thanks to a period during which COVID was less bad, there was more movement taking place. Like, I don't even know where this stuff comes from.
First of all,
you guys understand. Okay,
according to one report, over 220 miles of the area near Del Rio is now completely, totally just absorbed by people, but totally unpatrolled. The police are saying, you know, what do we do? This is an invasion.
Okay. How quickly do you guys think Trump loses the crowd? See, crowds are very low information, and often they don't even really know what he's talking about. So sometimes within 15 minutes, he's lost the crowd. Sometimes it takes longer. Oh, hold on. What's going on?
They're going to get more money for not building than they ever got for building. You got some contractors over here. They're laughing because they know exactly what I'm saying, don't you? Biden terminated our asylum agreements, instituted nationwide catch and release, crippled ICE. These are great patriots, ICE, tough. I wouldn't want that job. That guy with the beautiful jacket on, come here, let me look at him. Look at that beautiful. Stand up in the chair, stand up in that chair. Help him.
Remember when Trump at a rally yelled out, "Where's my African American?" That was crazy.
Right? It's a good, how many rallies have you been to? Oh boy, he's a great guy and a great patriot. And you know, when he takes that back off, he goes into a shirt and he probably goes back to his accounting office.
Hey guys, how can I turn off this picture-in-picture thing that keeps popping up here? It's extremely annoying. Oh, there it is.
Great guy. But even sleepy-eyed Chuck Todd of NBC News was recently forced to admit that Biden's open borders and his policies are acting as a magnet, attracting illegal aliens from all over the planet. Yet despite this obvious disaster, radical Democrats in the House and Senate continue to push for mass amnesty. You know, it's really hard to believe they think this is good. When you look at what's happening, as you know, Haiti is emptying out into our country. Haiti. They have a lot of problems in Haiti, and it's very sad. But we're bringing people into our country.
Sounds so sincere.
It's just a terrible, terrible, terrible situation. We're living through the worst border crisis in the history, probably, of civilization. There's no border. Nobody has a border like this. We don't do anything. You know, other countries, even if they're not well equipped, they put up a fight. They don't let people come in. We're just letting them just walk right in. And your own senator, Raphael Warnock, has not uttered a single solitary word of criticism.
Will this get racist?
Because he's a Marxist controlled by the radical left Democrats who don't believe in borders, and they don't believe in a nation, and they don't believe in our nation. I don't believe they believe in our nation. Next year, Warnock and every single one of these far-left lunatics must be routinely and resoundingly and decisively defeated. They have to be defeated. You're not going to have a country left. If you want to have a country left, you must elect no Democrats and vote only for America.
It seems the headline here is Trump voter fraud claims in shambles as he moves goalposts to 2022, right? I mean, that's how I would summarize this so far.
Different. Make America great again. We'll never give that one up, right? Make America great again. I thought we could sort of put it aside for a while, right? But as soon as they came in, we said we need that one again. But we have some good ones. But when you think about it, some of those phrases they're so they're so perfect. Some of the first, think about make America great again, save America, America first. Think of it, America first. And I'll never forget when Biden first came into office, if you can believe this, he said, "We don't believe in America first policies." I said, you know, even if you really don't, you can't say that. It doesn't work. He doesn't believe, but it's true. They don't believe in America first. They don't believe in America first policies. The world is eating our lunch. They're laughing at us. They watch what happened in Afghanistan and they think we're weak and stupid. And I'll tell you, when I was president, they respected us. They respected this country.
I don't remember that. I really don't.
Because they were ripping us off, and we stopped it. We stopped it, and we'll go into it, too. For the last 8 months, Biden, Pelosi, and the Socialist Democrats have been relentlessly pushing the demented lie that their political opponents are the #1 threat. Think of it, the #1 threat to national security. They call them the Trump people. You know what that is? That's 75 million people, but it's really much more than that. Much, much more than that.
How so?
And that's the largest vote by far ever gotten by a sitting president. No president has ever come close to it. And most presidents go down in the second term. Even if they win, they go down. Obama went down, way down. But he won. Well, I don't know. Maybe he won. Who the hell knows if he won? Nowadays, with these elections, who knows if he won? But he went down a lot, and he won. Most of them go down. Some of them go up. But if they go up, they don't go up much. We went up by 12 million votes. I was told, sir, a great pollster. So we got 63 million. He said, sir, if you go up 1 million votes, you can't lose.
Sir?
Well, we went up 12 million votes, and they say we lost. But there never has been, you know, there never has been a concession. You do know that, right? You do know.
Oh, Trump's saying he hasn't conceded, right?
You know, when Stacey Abrams says, I'm not going to concede, it's okay. No. When Stacey Abrams says, I'm not going to concede, that's okay. No problem. Oh, she's not going to concede. She's not going to concede. Of course, having her, I think, might be better than having your existing governor, if you want to know the truth. Might very well be better. But when she says that, no problem. When crooked Hillary Clinton says, don't ever concede, but she conceded. Of course, I got her at 3 o'clock in the morning. There was something going on there. But she conceded. She probably regrets it. But I never conceded because I saw what was happening, and I can't do it. I can't do it. Because I have a commitment to you, and I can't do it. And honestly, it would have been a lot easier for me if I did like every politician. I'd like to congratulate Sleepy Joe on running a brilliant race from the basement. Somebody ran a good race. We don't know who the hell it was. It was somebody ran a good race, but the fact is that we ran a great race. A major media group came and they interviewed me 2 weeks ago. They go, sir, what was the difference between 2016
It can't be,
and 2020? Guys. They meant that like as a negative question. I said, well, let me tell you the difference. We did much better in 2020 than we did in 2016.
Really?
We did much better. We did much better. The rallies were bigger. They were more enthusiastic. We did much, much better. We got 12 million more votes. I mean, we went from 63 to 75 million.
Congratulations.
So I said, and the person said, you know, I never thought of that. He wasn't that bad. He was radical left, but he wasn't that bad. But he did say, I followed your campaign. It was the most incredible campaign I've ever witnessed. Where you would get
Do you guys think that really happened?
and 5 of these rallies a day, and you did that for 30 days before the election. He said, I've never seen anything like that. And he said, there has never been anything like that in the history of politics in this country, and probably in the history of politics in the world. There's never been a movement like this. I said, are you going to write that? He said, probably not. He said probably not, and the reason not is his bosses probably would let him write that. But there has never been a movement like a MAGA movement like this. There's never been anything like this. Never been anything. But they said, what's the difference? And I said, we did better in 2020. Joe Biden is not merely a threat to our national security. He's actively demolishing it before our very eyes. Biden triggered millions of illegal aliens to rush our borders in the middle of a global pandemic. In the middle of the pandemic. Where's your mask? Where's your mask?
Now the pandemic is serious, I guess.
Where's your mask? Where's that mandate? Why aren't they imposing a mandate? I mean, they impose a mandate on everybody, but not the people coming in. In Afghanistan, he humiliated our nation with the most appalling display of incompetence by an American president in history. 13 great young warriors were murdered and many injured, and a total of 170 people were killed, with many very, very badly wounded. In their memory tonight, we have 13 empty seats of honor.
Oh, no way.
Right here in the front row.
Hey, guys. I wasn't lying when I said dystopian rally, huh?
That we have lost, and I've spoken to a lot of them, and these are great, great people. Thank you. And we're also honored to be joined by one of the Marines who bravely served in Kabul during the withdrawal and helped evacuate children over the airport and over the airport wall. You saw him. He did a great job. Lance Corporal Hunter Ian Clark. Lance Corporal, come up here. Come up here.
This is as dystopian as I imagined. We're going to listen to what this guy says. I do see all the memberships coming in on the website. I apologize. I can't keep up with all the names because so much is going on. But thanks to the 71 folks. The code is dystopian rally at joinpakman.com. Also, thanks to everybody supporting via Twitch. Look at this.
You want to say something?
Hey, my name's Lance Corporal Hunter Clark. I'm here from Warner Robins, Georgia. I am the guy that pulled the baby over the wall, and it's definitely probably one of the greatest things I've ever done in my entire life.
I actually don't know what he's talking about.
I just want to thank all the support from all y'all. It really means a lot, and I'm glad to be home now today. Thank you. Thank you.
He pulled a baby over the wall?
Thank you, Hunter, very much. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you. Hey, you know, Perry, Georgia did a good job. They did a good job. You grow them well in Perry, Georgia. Biden surrendered our forts and air base in Bagram. You know, we were going to keep the air base because it's right next to China.
Oh, God.
And their military institutions and their installations, and they have a lot of things surrounding it. And we had this big, beautiful air base that cost billions of dollars to build. And we were gone. We didn't even turn out the lights. And one day we were gone. And you know who's looking at it now and who's all over it? China! We were never leaving that. We had a perfect plan, and they were listening to us. Abdul, you can't shoot our soldiers. You know what? For 18 months, we didn't have one soldier killed. They listened to me. I said, you can't do it, Abdul. We'll hit you harder than you've ever been hit. You can't do it. And he understood that, and he left us alone. And we would have never moved our military out first. We would have never. They would have gone last. First Americans, then our people that deserve to come out, of which, by the way, the people that came out are not the ones that they were talking about. That was just like a mad rush. But Abdul understood that he was not going to do anything to us, and we would have taken our soldiers
Remember,
out.
this whole thing with Abdul, it's not clear anyone he was dealing with was named Abdul. For a while, he would refer to him as Muhammad, but we don't really know that that's the person's name.
And it would have been so good, but this guy, they just took the military out first. That's like the captain of the ship. Much more severe, by the way. If a captain of a ship goes, you say, all right, he didn't have guts, but it's not going to affect it too much. They took the military out first. And that's why you have those 13 empty seats right there. That's why. Because they took the military out first, and they created a void, and the Taliban said, what's going on? I can just see Abdul. He gets a call or a message that said, the military has left. He said, you're nuts, in their language. There's no way. Sir, the military has left. They've abandoned, they've surrendered, they've quit, whatever the hell he said. And I guarantee he said there's no way that happened. Nobody could be that stupid. They're smart. You know, they're good fighters. The Taliban, the Afghans generally are very good fighters, very good, among the best, actually. And they said, no, he did. And they sent a group in, and they said, you know what? The military is not there anymore. That's why we had to bring people in that weren't even familiar with all of it. They brought those 13 great people, and many that are wounded, very seriously.
What is he talking about?
They
Anybody
brought them
know?
in, among others. They moved. This Millie is an idiot. I got to know him. He's an idiot. Okay? They moved the military out first. Let's get the military out, and then after that, we'll negotiate for hostages, okay? And let's leave them $85 billion in America's finest weapons and latest equipment. And he abandoned hundreds of American citizens in enemy-occupied territory, and the press is trying to play the whole situation down like it never took place because they are among the most corrupt people in this country. You don't even see it anymore about Afghanistan. They don't talk about it. They don't talk about it, but I will. The Democrats are after me with prosecutors and everything else.
I see people saying he's losing the crowd. He's actually keeping the crowd longer than normal. Like, I'm surprised the crowd is still this with him.
You know what? They want to silence me just like they've silenced so many others. It's one of the reasons we don't get the support we should from a lot of very good Republicans, but they're not as brave as they have to be. And others are in agreement with us, but they're afraid. The people we're dealing with are evil and angry and destroying our country. They're destroying our country. And they want to go after me because they think, a big mouth. I don't have a big mouth. You know what I have? I have
Something about this woman's facial expressions really, really bothering me. Also, what is this? Is this appropriate right here? What the hell is this?
Now Biden is bringing into the United States tens of thousands of unvetted, unscreened Afghan nationals who...
That's insane, right? Like, does it matter whether these folks are even Asian? What the hell? I can't believe I just noticed that. And I think there's a couple of them.
And we're going to resettle them, I guess, with the child bride. Are they doing that? With the child bride. A lot of those people that rushed the planes are not the people that worked with us. They're people that wanted to get out. You're going to see some bad things happen over the coming years. It's a disgrace. In just the last few days, one Afghan national arriving in our country has been charged with sexually assaulting a child, another with strangling and beating his wife, and in New Mexico, a great, great place, by the way, a group of male Afghan evacuees reportedly ganged up on a female American service member and brutally assaulted her. Ask Germany, how are they doing? They're not too happy. Ask Sweden, how are they doing? They want to tell you the nice liberal way, but it's not working out too well. Biden terminated our very hard fought for travel ban. You remember the travel ban? Like, we don't want...
This is pretty bad.
Destroy us, okay? You know, it's pretty simple. On terrorist-occupied countries that we went through the entire system to defend and won in the Supreme Court of the United States, this travel ban went on for 2 years of litigation, and I ended up winning in the Supreme Court of the United States. It was very tough because all it says is people that want to blow up our stores and blow up our streets and our cities, people that want to hurt people, people that don't love our country, we don't want you in the United States. That's the travel ban. And Biden is drastically increasing the number of so-called refugees who would be resettled in America and all over American communities all over next year. He's expanding that number. But the travel ban was so strong, it was so good. When a country was angry at us, when they were bad, when they had people that wanted to blow our streets up and our stores up and set stores on fire and set our cities burning, we had a travel ban. We said, no, thank you. You can keep them. We're not letting them in. He is now officially ended the travel ban. It's a disgrace. He's doing nothing to hold the Chinese Communist.
I know you guys know this, but just in case anybody forgot, that travel ban was basically countries that we had no reason to believe were sort of like a source country for terrorists coming to the U.S. and doing things. Like, even on principle, it didn't make sense, but the facts also didn't make any sense.
Him and our country, and by the way, for his poll numbers, which have tanked. In short, after just 8 months, Joe Biden is already the biggest failure ever to occupy the Oval Office. And I can think of a couple of people. I'll tell you what, Jimmy Carter is extremely happy right now. So is another president, but I won't mention his name because there might be about 3 people here that thought he was okay. This is what happens when you have a dishonest election. This is all about a rigged election. None of these disasters ever should have been allowed to happen. Last week it was painstakingly revealed by Durham. You know Durham, the Durham report. We've been waiting.
Durham,
thank you,
right?
Thank you, Durham. Thank you. Mr. Durham, we've been waiting, but he came out with a big one, and perhaps they're going to come out with a lot more because
it was a pretty big
just
one.
the beginning. The Durham investigators at the Russia hoax was indeed a total scam made up by crooked Hillary Clinton and the Democrats. How would you like to have her as your
Guys,
wife?
it's almost 2022. He's talking about crooked Hillary. Lock her up.
No, but think of this. I mean, Bill Clinton, he's living in fear. He's living in fear. No, think about an evil mind like that. To make up a Russia hoax. You know, I'll tell you a quick little story. Should I, or should I just go through it?
You know, they came to me, they said, sir.
No, it's just sort of crazy. I kept hearing the word like Russia because during my campaign, before you heard about the so-called Russia hoax, people would come up with me and they'd say, sir, my campaign people, sir, do you ever hear anything about Russia? And I said, no, not really. I mean, Russia is Russia, right? They're ripping us off just like every other country in the world. Now, by the way, they're really ripping us because of what they've done with energy. They're making a fortune because of mine. I ended the pipeline and he approved it, but he knocked out the Keystone, didn't he, huh? But they'd say, sir, an innocent, young, great people, they love our country. Sir, another one coming up a couple of months later. Sir, did you ever hear anything? Do you know anything about Russia? No. Then a third one comes up a month later. Sir, do you have anything to do with Russia?
This is too much.
No. After about 4 or 5 times, you know the way it is, I said, what the hell is going on with Russia? And that's what's going on with Russia. They made up a hoax, and we had to live with it for 3 years. What kind of a sick, perverted mind does that? And it was the lawyer and Hillary Clinton and the Democrats.
Is it just me, or are 1 or 2 of the Blacks for Trump people gone already?
6th, okay? They're doing it again. They're doing it again. We went through 3 years of hell battling this fake charge that was only allowed to happen because the media was complicit, as they always are for the Democrats. And it was totally criminal what took place. And I think you'll be seeing a lot of things about it. But this, in other words, it is officially now a hoax. Most of you knew that from the beginning. And you see this guy, Shifty Schiff, Adam Shifty Schiff. President Trump is a paid worker for Russia. I said, what the hell do I have to do with Russia? Adam Shifty Schiff, and now he's doing it again. The same guy, the same face, that same watermelon-shaped face.
Does Kids for Trump count as child abuse, would you guys say?
To be a part of the administration, they didn't want to put him in. I give my credit to Biden on that one. He's very, very disappointed about that. But the same guy that would get up at a microphone and say, President Trump's son is involved with Russia. I'd call, Don, do you have anything to do with Russia? He didn't know what the hell I was talking about. He thought I was crazy. Eric, and these are good kids. They work their asses off for the country, I want to tell you. What a shame.
These kids he
For 3
likes.
years we went through it, and now it's revealed that it was a total hoax. We knew it anyway, but now it's official. They said it's criminal.
None of this is, I'm not interrupting because people get mad, but just remind me in the chat that you guys know this is not true, right? That this stuff he's saying is all a lie.
That was written, turned out to be a total fake document. They made up all the stories. Thank goodness, because there were
People
a couple
know.
in there
Okay,
that I
okay,
didn't
good,
like.
good.
And the lawyers for the
Yeah,
Democrat
good.
Party,
Okay.
Michael Sussman, he was just fired. And he was just fired and arrested for what he did. And you have another one, Mark Elias. He's no longer with Perkins Coie, which is the big law firm that the Democrats, I guess they probably got him the hell out of there because it was getting too hot. It's a disgrace. And let me tell you something. Just like they tried on the 2016 election with a totally fabricated con job, what they did in 2020 was far worse, and much more.
Con job. That's CHEANJHEAB.
Sophisticated, more highly sophisticated. They worked on this for 4 years, and we were given a few weeks to find out what they did. We knew it was fake. We knew what they were doing, but we were given a very small part of time. We didn't get any help from Mitch McConnell. We didn't get any help from that guy. They attacked and cheated on our elections, and they did it right here in Georgia also, right here in Georgia. Now the people of Georgia must replace the rhinos and weak Republicans who made it all possible. In particular, your incompetent and strange, I had something wrong with this guy, your Secretary of State, Raffensperger. I'm telling you, I think there's something wrong with him. And we give him so much. Could you look at this? Could
Here
you
we
look
go.
at that? Election integrity, could you? And sometimes, yes, I'm going to look at it. Nothing ever happens. Raffensperger, something really strange with him.
Yeah, he wasn't willing to just give you the state.
Longer running because he knew that he wasn't doing a job he was going to lose. And your rhino governor, Brian Kemp, who's been a complete disaster on election integrity.
Booing their own Republican governor. That's interesting.
Total. And I'm not looking to say that. I'm not looking to say that. He's been a complete and total disaster on election integrity. If you go in with a complaint about election integrity, you get investigated instead of investigating a crooked election. It's the craziest.
Well, you did try to steal it.
For this story, I was called by a very good friend of mine who happens to be here tonight. Sir, could you please endorse? I think we're 148-2 with endorsements. They like my endorsement. It's never happened before.
That's not true.
Sir, could you please endorse Brian Kemp? I said, who the hell is Brian Kemp? This is at the beginning. There were 4 or 5, I think it's 5, but there were 5 guys, 5 people running, 5 men were running. And he was in last place, doing poorly. And I made the mistake. I listened to this gentleman, who's a great guy, actually. And I said, how well do you know him? Well, did he ever say anything bad about?
Just so people know, the video feed, their video feed has been having issues here. I'm trying to get us resynced. It is not on my end. Maybe we have to do a refresh here. It's been persistently problematic. Now my ad blocker not even working. Hold on, a 53 second. Oh, I thought it wasn't going to let me skip even. This is wild.
He said, sir, we had I guess, 2 rallies. One had 52,000 people, one had 49,000 people. The big monster rallies at the airport.
Volume Master's not even working.
And they weren't there for him, they were there for me. And
the hell?
Stacey Abrams, who still has not conceded, and that's okay. Stacey, would you like to take his place? It's okay with me. She still has not conceded. But we had, just so you understand, we had the most incredible rallies. The most incredible rallies. And I said, Brian, you're going to win. Oh, I don't think so. No, you're going to win, I'm telling you. And he ended up winning by like 2 points, right? And then when I called him about election integrity, it's like, oh, I'm sorry, sir, I can't do that. I said, no. Yeah, actually, it was very interesting. I called
It was weird. Nobody I asked to break the law did it in a material way.
This election, as you obviously know, and has been covered by, other than the fake news, has been covered pretty good. But if these guys would come back, young guys, sir, we spoke to Governor Kemp. Sir, he will not do anything on election integrity. I said, no, you kid, don't just call him again. No, I mean, maybe he never got the message. They come back the next day, sir, Governor Kemp won't do anything on election integrity. Remember, we wanted to call a special election so that we could go, Marjorie, so we could go into election integrity. What is wrong with that?
Right.
And he said, no, we won't. And I think the governor is the only one that can call it, right? And he wouldn't do it. He wouldn't do it. So when these guys, they're young and nice guys, they came back, they said, he won't do it, sir. I said, let me handle it. This is easy. You know, I got this guy elected. One thing has nothing to do with
Is he going to brag about calling and demanding 11,000 votes now?
Quid pro quo.
Also, why is the lectern lopsided?
Ukraine deal, the fake Ukraine. We had Russia, Ukraine. They were both fake deals, okay? I got impeached twice on fake news. But I said to these young people, let me handle it. I was going to show them how good I am.
He's quickly losing this guy. This guy is very uninterested, it seems.
Now, you have a big election integrity problem in Georgia. I hope you can help us out and call a special election, and let's get to the bottom of it for the good of the country. Let's get to the bottom of it for the good of your state.
Wait, is Trump admitting he wanted a new election now?
Sir, I'm sorry, I cannot do that. I said, whoa. I said, you cannot do that. And that's why, let me tell you, this guy's a disaster. He's a disaster. They ignore, and you know, he's been a real horrible. I could have anybody else. You have another bad one, by the way. You have another bad one, Ducey in Arizona. He's another beauty.
Here we go.
But not as bad as what you have here. Not as bad. They ignored monumental evidence of rampant fraud. We've all seen the video of ballots being pulled out from under the tables after kicking out all of the observers. Remember that?
They were reportedly curing ballots.
Story of, sir, there's a major water main break, clean out, right? Water main break that never happened. Remember they said, water main break, everybody get out. And then
Sir, they smoked ballots in Hickory.
And stuff. But supposedly caused the vote counting to be shut down for hours and hours, so everyone was out except for these people that were on tape. In addition, Brian Kemp, Raffensperger, and your state leaders surrendered to Stacey Abrams. They totally surrendered to her. You know, I think he's afraid of Stacey Abrams. I don't understand it. Stacey.
They apparently dry rubbed the ballots and cooked them in the Jamaican jerk style, and Trump found it culturally insensitive.
Fantastic. And he was interviewing, although it was a very soft interview in this case, but she's fantastic. And I don't say he's a man of
Trump
law.
only accepts ballots that have been processed with compound butter.
And she said, what position do you play? I'm an offensive tackle in high school. Now, even in high school, he was not an offensive tackle, okay? And somehow I remembered that. I don't know why. Herschel saying, what the hell was that all about, sir? He's not an offensive tackle. But your state leaders surrendered to Stacey Abrams and allowed themselves to be bullied into a disastrous consent decree that
Trump found the amount of mayonnaise used in the meals for ballot counters in Michigan suspicious.
And they don't want to do anything about it. They don't. I'll tell you, A couple of people do when they're legislators and they're here right now, but they didn't want to do anything about it, and the agreement was never approved by the state legislature anyway. It wasn't even approved. Just recently it was reported, your state, this isn't Arizona now, this is the great state of Georgia. It was reported that 43,000 absentee ballot votes were counted.
It's funny how he has to clarify which state he's lying about so that the people can get the lies straight. Like, wait, are we supposed to tell this lie about Arizona or that lie?
That Georgia was decided by only 11,779
Is this guy okay?
votes.
He's breathing
so
really
I
heavy
only
all of a sudden.
needed one more vote than that to win the election. But we have many, many more votes than we needed to win the election. I recently sent the Georgia Secretary of State a letter outlining the glaring issue, and I've never gotten a response.
Ooh.
I hear somebody said, they're looking at me for questioning the election. That'll be an interesting one. Let's go after Trump because he's questioning the election. You know what? If I won or lost, all I want is a fair election. That's all you want. But I have no doubt that we won, and we won big.
No evidence, but...
Listen to these numbers. These are Georgia numbers, and these come from the state, they told me.
It's funny that he's not talking about the Arizona numbers all of a sudden.
Let me apologize if they're not, but they are right. There are 10,300 individuals in Georgia who moved more than 30 days before the November election to a different county in Georgia, but failed to re-register and vote in their current county of residence. That means their votes don't count.
Now remember, as long as they didn't go to the new county and vote again, which there's no evidence of, it doesn't change the results.
List. Oh, that's a little bit of a problem. There are 18,325 individuals in Georgia who voted, whose addresses are recorded on the U.S. Postal Service as vacant. They're vacant.
It's extraordinarily common that the Postal Service's records are simply not right. I've dealt with that issue myself. Not proof of any fraud.
Exclusively for Joe Biden. Ballot images obtained through a public records request revealed duplicated votes, which included at least 3,390 extra votes for Joe Biden. In Fulton County,
Is something weird going on? Did someone faint? Because something very strange is happening here. Do you guys see what's going on in the background?
Georgia officials also took $45 million from Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg to fund election-related activities. Well, they should be looking at that. What is that all about? Over 90% of this funding...
They seem to be fanning someone who maybe has collapsed. Trump seems oblivious to it.
...areas of the state and used to boost Democrat voter turnout. What's that all about? You know, they have a limit of like $5,200. He's given millions and millions of dollars to
I don't know, guys. Maybe this rally was a bad idea.
That's for the famous Dropboxes that you hear about, where a vast percentage of the votes in the unlocked and unguarded boxes were for Biden. They were for Biden, even though we know who most of them were for. According to True the Vote, great group, at least 7% of the Dropbox
Is the
vote
woman
was
back up?
illegally trafficked.
I feel like this woman
That's
was down.
92,000 votes.
Oh, she's got water.
Metropolitan area alone. That's 92,000. Remember, we're talking about a little more than 11,000.
No, someone's down.
92,000. That's one of many categories. In addition,
That woman's complexion seems problematic. She seems like she could have just fainted. I can't tell.
alleges a gigantic illegal ballot harvesting operation involving large numbers
It's
of
this
people
woman right here? Is that what people are
throughout the
saying?
state. With all of these discrepancies and criminal acts, Governor Kemp and Raffensperger and your Attorney General, who unfortunately has not decided to get involved other than looking at people that are questioning the votes, aren't interested in the people that committed the voter fraud. They're only interested in me and others because I bring voter fraud to the forefront in order to save our nation from corrupt elections and to make sure that this
Okay, now there's
never,
now there's
ever
EMTs.
happens again. Never happens again. Even the Fulton County DA, district attorney, is after me. But no one is willing to give us the information we want in Fulton County. And you know, Fulton County has a terrible reputation for voter corruption, probably among the worst in the country. They say I'm being aggressive, but you have to be aggressive to weed out this horrible...
The optics of the fact that Trump is totally oblivious to it somehow makes it even more depraved.
They're not after me. They're after you. I just happen to be in the way. That's what's really happening. Yesterday, we also
they're helping
got
the
the
woman out, I
results
guess.
of the Arizona audit, which were so disgracefully reported by those people right back there. And the headline
Off she goes.
claiming that Biden won.
Now Trump going into the Arizona audit stuff.
That Biden won are fake news and a very big lie. You know, they like to, you ever notice when they write about that, they would say, while the election results are a big lie, every reporter, it's just total misinformation. While they're totally unfounded, everything's unfounded, big lie, not correct. While Trump has no reason to say this, I mean, we got piles and piles of information, affidavits by the thousands and thousands. It's a disgrace. We won on the Arizona forensic audit yesterday at a level that you wouldn't believe. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to read off for you. Their results right from their page.
I'm going to read the names of everybody who voted me in this country.
Yet it's so difficult because the Washington Post, the New York Times, and virtually every mainstream media source, CNN, forget it, they're so dishonest. By the way, their ratings are down 81%. Would you say this?
So I guess Trump is going to claim that the reporting on the audit is just false. I do appreciate, let me just do a one-time thank you. Everybody who's been signing up using this code Dystopian Rally, very, very apropos of what's going on today. Really appreciate it. I can't thank everybody individually right now, but you will be thanked eventually. Dystopian Rally at joinpakman.com.
Funny. These people aren't funny.
And it's getting very
I think they're
dystopian.
sick. There's nothing funny about it, but you have a cable person beating all these guys with all that money. I hope Fox is going to pay Greg what they're making, add it up together. That's what I did on The Apprentice. I said, I have higher ratings than all these big stars on The Apprentice. I said to NBC at the time. They loved me so much during The Apprentice.
The audience really relating with Trump getting paid millions because of a negotiation he did.
Another 3 years, another 5, we'll do whatever. They did not want me to run. They said, you won't win. Why would you give up a primetime show that's doing so well? And then I did it, and look what happened. My life was so simple. My life was so simple, I should have just, but you know what? What we've done is so important. What we've exposed is so important. And what we're doing and what we're going to do is going to be the most important of all. Okay?
Things still haven't really calmed down. A couple people just walked out. And there's just a very strange energy here.
But they had headlines that Biden wins in Arizona when they know it's not true. He didn't win in Arizona. He lost in Arizona based on the forensic audit. And some people say, and I understand this, and I have great, great friends that really want what's best for us.
Yeah.
They say, sir, you're leading in every poll by numbers like nobody's ever seen before. Think to the future, not to the past. And I say, if we don't think about the past, you'll never win again in the future because it's all rigged. It's all rigged. I understand what they're saying, but it's all rigged. And it's a massive disinformation campaign by the corrupt and very fake media. It's a disinformation. So here's what they say. Here's what they say. You ready? This is from the report. How do we look up there? Okay, they're not bad.
Oh, this should be good.
That's a nice screen. Who the hell else gives you a screen like that? Who else? So here's from the report. Okay, this is from the forensic audit by very respected people. And it was a very, very conservatively done report. It's much worse than this. The astounding findings include, ready? 23,344 mail-in ballots were counted, despite the person no longer living in that address. Oh, that's good.
Okay, those we already addressed.
They mailed in, but there's nobody living there.
Yeah, as long as they didn't vote twice, it's okay.
Their margin in the state was only 10,457 votes. So remember this.
People move all the time. You know, think about it, every month how many people move.
So you have 10,000, a little over 10,000 votes that I, quote, lost by.
How many of them no longer live in the state?
17,322 duplicate ballots, which renowned computer scientist Dr. Shiva identified as having
Dr. Shiva's out of his mind.
Was over.
Look up Dr. Shiva, one of the craziest people I've ever even heard of.
You know what a duplicate is, right? Oh, how did that happen? 96% of the ballots that came in on 2 of these days were duplicates. There were 2,382 votes who voted in person, even though they had moved out of the county. Oh.
Did they vote twice, though?
Had moved out of the state. They're not allowed to vote, but they voted anyway. 5,047 people. Remember, a little over 10,000. 11, think of that. I mean, just give that a little thought. Every one of these numbers. 5,047 people voted in more than one county, resulting in up to 5,295 what they call overvotes. It's an overvote.
Now, hold on a second. If 5,000 people really voted twice, anyway, whoops,
in other words, you're supposed to vote.
Whoops, I made it. That was my mistake.
Maricopa County's official canvass recorded 3,432 more ballots cast than people they recorded as having cast a vote.
That is untrue.
277 precincts have more ballot cast than people. So they have more ballots cast than they have people, resulting in at least 1,551 excess votes. 9,041 mail-in votes and voters. Well, just to be exact, you know what? We have to get this exactly accurate because the fake news will say he said votes instead of voters. 9,041 mail-in voters returned more ballots than they were sent. Oh, that's interesting. How does that?
That doesn't even make sense. They photocopied ballots? That's crazy.
It was done by a very respected group.
The video's frozen.
255,326. Remember, you're talking about a little over 10,000 votes. 255,326 early votes do not have a corresponding record in the county's voter file. Oh, that's interesting.
I don't even know what that means. A record in the voter, like, could that just mean it was their first time voting? That's so vague as to be meaningless.
Missing. This is from their report. I didn't write this report. This is findings. They call it findings. And then the fake news said that we lost by a little over 10,000, hundreds of thousands of votes we're talking about. All of this was found without being given access to the routers, which county officials ruthlessly withheld. They didn't want to give those routers under any circumstances. They had a...
Between the woman fainting and Trump going into stats, and by the way, the video is just frozen. It's freezing on its own. I'm not pausing it. He's losing the crowd, yeah.
Of Arizona. And the governor, Ducey, was horrible. He was missing in action. He was actually against it. Nonetheless, the auditors discovered that millions of election-related files were deleted during and after the election in violation of federal law, including a purge of the election management system. That's a quote, election management system software the day before the audit began. So the audit's going to now begin. They went to court, the same guy that I guess got fired. Something happened to him, Elias. He went to court. They sent in 107 lawyers to fight us on this, to fight the people, to fight the Senate. 107. Oh, she said 170. That could be right. All these lawyers.
Maybe someone in the crowd has better numbers than Trump. Who knows?
All the court cases, and the Senate hung in and they won. In addition, in another effort led by Patriot Liz Harris, the Maricopa County canvassing results for Arizona were just published. Where is Liz Harris here? No way. Why do you like Liz Harris so? What the hell do you know about Liz? Huh? She's a patriot. Biden supposedly won the state of Arizona by 10,457 votes. Yet, the report shows 173,104 lost votes and 96,389 ghost votes. You know what a ghost vote is, right? Where is it? Where is it?
It's Casper.
Harris stated that a conservative estimate of votes impacted was 299,400.
Remember, the other thing also is, even if these numbers made sense and were accurate, you would then have to prove that the gap by which they helped Biden relative to Trump would have even flipped. Like, that's 4 layers deep. And of course, he's not mentioning anything, any of that.
My speech you've sort of heard before, right? Regarding ghost votes, Maricopa County recorded an estimated 96,000 mail-in votes that could not have been physically cast by the voter, that the vote was registered to, could not have been done by the voter that it was registered to.
Why?
96,000.
What does that mean?
That's 9 times more than I need right there. That's just one little category. And the media aren't reporting this stuff. They're saying that the election results are fine. It's just not acceptable.
Right.
Just like they don't want to talk about Afghanistan or Hunter Biden's corruption. That's the other thing that came out today. You see that? They delayed the Hunter Biden corruption because they didn't want it to hurt Joe Biden.
Just a reminder, it's their feed that's freezing. The audio continues, but the video's choppy.
Mr. President, our country has gone to hell.
Yeah. It's getting depressing. Big thanks to Teresa Christensen for the new membership on my website. Also, Amanda Taylor. Love it. The new coupon code for today only is Dystopian Rally. You can tell why, right? I mean, it's pretty obvious. Also, thanks to Gregory Steffen, who I was not able to thank earlier. Keith Erbowitz, new member. Elaine
Thank you.
Borghese.
And I love you too. You're incredible people.
Thank you.
Incredible people. And they're trying to take our country away, and they're trying to steal our country, and they're going to ruin our country.
They're really not.
And once it's destroyed, remember I used to say, we will not become Venezuela? This is what's happening.
Well, I hope
No,
not.
this is what's happening. You take a look at Venezuela. They can't get water. They can't get anything. They're living in hell. We will not be a socialist country. How many times have I said it? This
Not
will
really
not
the
be
issue at hand
Venezuela.
right now.
This is going to be Venezuela very soon if they keep going the way they're going. And this is all done in a period of less than 9 months. Think of it. This destruction of our border, all of the destruction, our military in retreat. We've never had a military retreated before. I mean, why would you leave $83 or $85 billion worth of equipment? Why would you leave brand new Black Hawk helicopters, the greatest machine? Why would you leave millions and millions? Why, as an example, there was no reason. We had it so under control. We were getting the hell out of there. But everybody would have come out. We would have then taken the equipment. I even gave an expression. I want every screw, every bolt, every nail. I want the tents that the equipment is. I want everything. Millie said to me one time, I'll never forget it, "Sir, it's more expensive. It's more expensive, sir, to take the equipment than to leave it." I said, "Really? You mean you have a $10 million tank? You put it on a plane and that's more expensive than leaving it?" He said, "It's more expensive." And I never forgot that statement because that's probably the first time I realized that he was stupid. But you know what I did say? I said, so we have brand new aircraft just out of the factory and it's sitting on the runways and our soldiers are fleeing and surrendering to guys with knives. Good fighters, by the way, but guys with knives that I got along with very well. They understood they're not going to screw around. I almost used the F word. And you know, It would have been more effective if I did, but they would have. He used a horrible word, so I didn't do it. Remember, I didn't do it. It would have been so much more effective if I used the word. Maybe later on. But with Milley and with all these people, they flee. I said, why wouldn't you have brought in 200 pilots? 200, we have the best pilots in the world. We have the best soldiers in the world. We have the best military in the world. I rebuilt the military. Space Force, don't forget Space Force. I rebuilt. So why wouldn't you bring over real fast?
Don't forget.
First of all, you shouldn't have left anything behind. So I don't even like this idea. But assuming they really wanted to leave it behind because they're stupid, why wouldn't you bring over 200 pilots? Just take the planes and fly them to Pakistan, and then you bring them over, or fly them to some other country of which we give them all so much money that they all treat us well, okay? You know, we get ripped off by everybody. But why wouldn't you fly the planes out? Instead, they leave the planes. And then they said, because they were so embarrassed, because they probably didn't even know what they were doing. They had no idea what they were doing. They said, no, well, we disabled it. You know what they did? They let the air out of a couple of tires of one plane. They didn't disable
That's very
anything.
much
These
untrue.
guys have the best equipment anywhere in the world. They're probably the best armed soldiers and equipped soldiers in the world. They have goggles, the likes of which nobody, the goggles, the night goggles, they call them. I can see at night better than I can at 12 o'clock in the afternoon with the sun. That's how good they are. Better than our soldiers have, the latest models. And they have thousands and thousands. They have hundreds of thousands of rifles and weapons and machine guns. Hundreds of, we left it there. And there was no reason to leave it there. We could have taken a year, 2 years, 4 years, or 2 months to get the hell out. There was no reason. We had them so at bay. They weren't going to play games because they knew that if they did, they were going to get hit harder than any nation has ever been hit at their home, because it's all about their home, because they were never hit at their home. But we know where their homes are, and we were going to hit them very hard, and they understood that. That's why, I told you before, 18 months we didn't have one soldier killed, and even Biden said that. It was a mistake. He said, well, I will say that no soldiers have been killed in 18 months, and his people are screaming at him, don't say that, you stupid son of a bitch.
Former president calls current president a son of a bitch. Very, very mature, guys.
You see, he was supposed to add a but, something bad, but he didn't do that. As a result of the Arizona forensic audit, 41 legislators from across the nation wrote an open letter to the American people calling for audits in all 50 states.
Audits,
and
yeah.
Decertification.
Yeah, really got to audit California because Trump might have won.
It is clear in Arizona that they must decertify the election. You heard the numbers. And those responsible for wrongdoing must be held accountable. It was a corrupt election. And it's my opinion, by the way, that Georgia is far worse.
It's a stupid opinion, but it is his opinion.
And hopefully the Arizona Attorney General, a good man, will do far more for his state than your Attorney General has done for your state. Because your Attorney General has not done what he's supposed to be doing. And what he's supposed to be doing is free and clear and non-corrupt elections. And they're not doing that. We must elect strong, brave America first leaders who will be true champions for the people and for free, fair, and honest elections. And we must demand election integrity at all costs. If we don't have borders, if we don't have elections, if we don't have our military back and strong, I rebuilt the military, and now look what happens. They're giving it away to the enemy. To think 28 Apache helicopters, you don't know. I hate to use the term, but it's considered, I didn't want to use it before. I said machine, but it's considered the most incredible killing machine. That's a horrible term, right? But it's the most incredible killing machine. When a tank sees an Apache helicopter.
The Blacks for Trump guys like calling it a killing machine.
To that tank operator, he gets the hell out of there because he doesn't have a chance. They hit him with a missile right down the middle of the gun. They hit him with a missile right down that barrel. They go boom. That goes right in from 5, 6, 7 miles away. The tank shoots at them, and it's going like this, and they're waving, hello, goodbye, bye, bing, 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 bing. They take out a lot of them at a time. They got brand new ones. They got to learn to fly them, but they will.
It goes
There you go.
pow.
The Chinese will teach them. The Russians will teach them. We have a few of those leaders here tonight, some really great leaders, including your next Secretary of State, a friend of mine. Somebody has done a phenomenal job. Jody Heiss. Jody, come here.
Wait, is this the crazy anti-gay?
And Jody is running against
Lunatic?
one of the worst Secretary of States in America,
It's
Rhino Brad
Secretaries of State.
Raffensperger, who is trying to turn the tables on me because I'm fighting for election integrity. Come on up here, Jody. Come on. This guy's a great congressman. He didn't need this.
Oh, it is Congressman.
And I'll say this.
Look this guy up. One of the most vile, horrible people.
District where they love him, where he wins easily, nobody challenges him. And he said, I have to do this for the good of my state. I have to do this. I have to do this for the good of my country. He told me that because, to be honest, I was surprised. Here's a congressman who's loved in his district, who's got no problems, no election problems. He could be there forever. And he said, I want to do this because what's happened to this.
Jody's going to head up Trump's program of flushing toilets 10 to 15 times.
Thank you.
Nobody understands the disaster of the lack of election integrity like the people of Georgia. And now is our hour to take it back. We've got incredible leadership from President Trump, and we need this kind of leadership again.
If you need an extended service plan on your new microwave, this is exactly the guy you should be buying it from, I guess.
A lifetime, a greatest fighter of our lifetime. God bless you, sir. Thank you.
Whoa. Almost looked like Trump was going to kiss his hand. That was weird.
The great man, great gentleman.
It was like,
No, Jody, you had it made. You just could have stayed where you were. I don't know, Jody. That's what we love about you, huh? He loves the state. He loves his state. We're also delighted to be joined by your next lieutenant governor, a man I've known for a long time, a man who really did fight very, very hard for election integrity, and he got shut down everywhere he went. They wanted to shut him down. They didn't want to have election integrity. Bert Jones. And Bert, come up here, Bert. Bert's running to replace your lieutenant governor, who's not running because of the poor job he's done, especially on election reform and election integrity. Come up, Bert. Great job. Thank you, man.
Thanks so much. Thank you.
oh, God.
Don't y'all love this man?
Whoa. I was not ready for that.
I just want to thank you, Mr. President, for all your hard work, for you continue to fight for this country, fight for our state. Thank you so much for endorsement. And I can assure you, if I'd been our lieutenant governor, we would have gotten to the bottom of this thing. So,
no doubt.
So thank you very much.
What he means is I would have given you the election against the law. Blacks for Trump loving this guy somehow, huh?
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bert. Great guy. He's another one. He loves you and he loves our state, this state. In addition, we absolutely must take back your U.S. Senate seat from the radical left liberal Raphael Warnock, who nobody knew who the hell he was. And then a lot of crazy things happened. All of a sudden, he's a U.S. Senator. How did that happen?
People voted
But
for him.
that's why I'm especially proud to welcome a man who truly knows how to win. The United States of America is so proud of this man, one of the greatest athletes in our country's history, the greatest
Is this
running
Herschel Walker?
that I've ever seen, a man who played at a certain school that you love very much, and he broke every record. He broke every record. Come on up here, Herschel Walker, come up here. You know, Herschel is not only a Georgia hero, he is an American legend. Herschel is a legend, born and raised in this state. Herschel became one of the greatest football players of all time. And I don't want to get in trouble, but I guarantee I watched him, and he was the greatest player that Georgia ever had. As a Georgia Bulldog, he was a 3-time All-American and a Heisman Trophy winner before going to an outstanding career in the NFL. He was great in the NFL.
Interesting fact about Herschel Walker, he allegedly threatened to kill his ex-wife, which led to a protective order being given to her.
I know he will go down also as one of the greatest senators in America. So, Herschel, please say a few words. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Well, I tell you what, can you not tell this man loved the United States of America? And I just want to thank him again for all you've done for me, not just for endorsing me for this Senate run, but we've been together for a long time. And I said it a long time ago, a great man, great leader. And I want to be a leader like him when I get to that Senate seat to show everyone I love America. Thank you. Thank you, Georgia, for welcoming a great president, the greatest president. I call him the people's president. So thank you, guys.
Thank you, Herschel. Great, Herschel.
Okay. Just sycophancy.
What a guy. What a guy. Thank you, Herschel. Get out, really work for him. Make sure we have an honest election, too. Thank you, Herschel. Finally, I want to thank some of the other terrific Republican leaders, and we have some great ones in your state.
I actually want to thank good people, including the 98 people that have gotten us 98% of the way to our goal. Dystopian Rally. The code works at joinpakman.com. You guys are the real heroes, not whoever Trump is thanking.
David Perdue. Are you running for governor,
Oh,
David?
no.
Did I hear he's running for governor?
He just lost. Why would he
Thank
run
you,
for
David.
him?
He's a great guy, and he loves this state, and he's done a fantastic job. Another good friend of mine right here in Perry, Georgia, secretary and former governor of your state for 8 years. He was term limited, or he'd still be here. Wouldn't we be happy if he was? Sonny Perdue, he did a fantastic job. He did a fantastic job.
Really horrible.
They have good genes in that family. Thank you, Sonny. Great job you did in the administration. We appreciate it. How much money did we get for the farmers? And I took it all out of China, huh? I charged them hundreds of billions of dollars in tariffs, so we gave the farmers, what, $28 billion? And we had plenty left over for the country. But we gave the farmers didn't know what the hell they were doing. They never got money like this. And they didn't even want it. You know, I had farmers come to me, sir, we don't want subsidy. They actually said, nobody said that to me when I was president. The farmers did. They said, sir, we just want a level playing field. That's all we want. It's an amazing thing. But we gave them $28 billion anyway, Sonny, and you did a fantastic job. Some real warriors that fight with me on the impeachment hoax #1, impeachment hoax #2, and many other things. They were great. Representatives, Rick Allen. Rick, thank you very much. Great job. Thank you, Rick. Great guy, too. Andrew Clyde. Andrew, thank you. Great job. Thank you, Andrew. Fantastic people. Austin Scott. Hi, Austin. Thank you. Great being with you a little while ago. And a person who's very low-key, a person who I got to know really well, a person that the press does not treat fairly. And I will tell you right now, just in a sentence, she's really tough, and she's really, really smart.
Really delusional.
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Becoming a cult hero. It's crazy. It's actually crazy what's going on with her.
Very smart. They don't like to say that, do they? Huh? They know she is smart as hell.
Not particularly bright.
She knows what's going on. Thank you, Marjorie, and you are loved. You are loved all over the country, I will tell you that. Georgia Republican Party chair, somebody that's worked very closely with me and somebody that has really fought the good fight on the fraud that's taken place in your state, and he's fighting it right now. He's got so much information, and he wants to release it, and I guess he will be. Hopefully he will be soon. But he's a wonderful guy. The chairman, David Schaefer. David, thank you. Republican Party. Great job. A man who is running for governor, who is a friend of mine. I said, you know, you ought to be a Republican. He said, well, I don't know, but I sort of like a lot of Republicans, and he has the view of a lot of Republicans, and he really is. He's a good man. He's a great guy. He's smart. He's tough. Vernon Jones. Vernon, thank you. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you, Vernon. I just heard this guy's here. You know, he was a tough cookie. He was a great police commissioner of New York. I'm looking for you, Vernon.
This is like, in a very low-key way, one of the craziest rallies Trump has actually done when you really analyze it for its substance.
Thank you. See, he's a rebel. He's a rebel. That's what people like about him. Good. Thank you, Vernon. Appreciate it. A man who did a tremendous job in New York. He was a big fan of Rudy Giuliani, who's a great guy, by the way. He was
I question his judgment already.
in the history of the city of New York. That I can tell you. And did a great job. They come at him with barrels. They just want to blow people away. It's a disgrace. But this is a man who's tough as hell, tough as nails, and did an incredible job in New York. He's respected and loved by anybody and everybody. Bernie Carrick is around here someplace.
Ooh.
Where's Bernie?
What, isn't he a criminal as well? Thank you for the $200 super chat. I guess this is my first super chat. Longtime fan, year plus member. Thank you. Let's look up Bernie Carrick's credits.
Tonight we have Rich McCormick and Jake Evans. Thank you. Thank you very much. And you're shaking
Yeah,
it.
Bernie Carrick, great guy, pled guilty to felony tax fraud and lying to White House officials. Okay.
Alveda King, I want to thank you. Thank you, Alveda. She was with me when it wasn't so good a thing. She was tough. She's tough and she's wonderful. She's a wonderful woman. Thank you, Alveda. I appreciate very much you being here. And this is an incredible, look at this crowd. Look at this crowd of patriots and the love they have. And you know, as we speak, there are people that are being held prisoner very unfairly, and that should not be allowed to happen. Or if it is going to happen,
all?
you have to treat all of the other sides, whether it's Antifa or BLM or
Antifa.
others that burn down our city.
Oh, is he saying his rioters are being held unfairly?
It's one of the things we learned a long time ago. Of course, now they're trying to sell different history books than we used to get, but we're not going to let that happen. But we have people, and Ashley Babbitt, who was killed, she was the person that was killed during that day, that lousy day, that horrible day, but they killed Ashley Babbitt, and there was no reason to kill Ashley
What was
Babbitt.
horrible about it?
No reason whatsoever. So our hearts are with that group, and hopefully that's going to all work out. I think in the end it's going to all work out.
It was a lousy day.
It's a very, very unfair, very, very unfair situation. When you see them burning down our cities like Portland.
It's like a lousy day incited by me and perpetrated by you.
Seattle, they take over Seattle. People get killed. Nothing happens to them. And then you see what happened in Washington, D.C. It's a disgrace. Under our administration, we accomplished.
It was just a bad day, guys. You know, sometimes you wake up and it's not a great day, and there's really no one or nothing to blame. It's just a bad day.
Thought possible. No president, and I say this and I don't get criticized, no president, or certainly very few, have accomplished what we accomplished in 4 years.
It's like one of those examples of just you use passive language. A police officer was beaten with a flag. Okay, but hold on. Who beat? That's the reverse language.
Replaced it with USMCA, that's Mexico and Canada, who were both doing big numbers on our country, but not anymore. We withdrew from the job-killing Trans-Pacific Partnership, stood up to China like nobody has ever stood up, taking in billions and billions of dollars from China when we never took in 10 cents from China. That's what we were just saying was Sonny. We gave them a lot of money, 28 billion out of that money, and we had a lot left over. But Joe Biden is obliterating. He's just obliterating much.
Obliterizing. That was a bit of a glitch, huh?
We had hard-won success, and that success is going to have to come back, or our country doesn't stand a chance. We're not respected anymore as a country. We're being laughed at all over the world. Afghanistan was the single most embarrassing event, in my opinion, that's ever happened to our country. And we're being laughed at all over
Trump
the
getting
world.
elected
Last
was.
month, the economy added up to 1/3 the jobs that we expected. So we expected to have much better employment numbers, and it didn't work out too good. The unemployment rate for black Americans increased to a very, very high 8.8%. You know, with me, they were way down and going a lot lower. Gas prices in Georgia are now almost 100% higher than they were just last year.
Well, yeah, it's the summer and we just recovered in part from COVID.
Massive tax increase. That's bigger than a tax increase. Inflation is rampant, and shortages are becoming widespread for all
Thanks,
products.
Lisa, by the
Anybody
way.
having trouble getting products? Everybody probably. Meanwhile, Biden and congressional Democrats are pushing the largest tax increase in the history of our country. We can't let that happen. The largest tax, it's going to kill everything that we built. And what's happening with our country, our foundation was so strong that they're able to get away with it for a little while, but eventually those foundations will start to crumble. Their socialist legislation would cost a mind-boggling $3.5 trillion, over $10,000 from every living American. If you want high taxes, fewer jobs, vote for the radical left Democrats. If you want low taxes, more and more and more jobs, fantastic income and freedom, vote for Republicans. That's what's happening. That's what's happening. Biden and the
Meaningless pablum.
every lever of the federal government to impose woke nonsense on every facet of American life, pushing toxic critical race theory into our children's classrooms, and even into our military, and male athletes are now being allowed to
What do you guys think? Will he address getting vaccinated, or did it go too bad last time he did it? And so he won't, because the crowd will boo him.
Did you see the recent weightlifting contest? How did that work out? They're fighting for years and years over 2 ounces. 2 ounces more. I want to get 2 ounces more. This guy comes along. Bing, bing. And he wasn't even a weightlifter, right? So, yeah, it's so crazy. And it's so unfair to women. They fought so hard to get in this position. And it's so unfair to
Yeah, if you think this crowd loves Trump, wait till he tries to suggest vaccination. We learned they turn on him.
on a deranged resistance campaign, the likes of which our country has never seen before. It was a lie and another lie and lie after lie and hoax after hoax, a witch hunt after witch hunt. You saw it going with Russia, Ukraine, with all of them. And now it's worse than ever before. And the same people are perpetrating these lies and these witch hunts. The same people, they get up, they have no shame. They stand up and they talk like it's such a horrible thing. And it's just a disaster. Nancy Pelosi's unselect committee.
Yeah, he's really losing the crowd. This guy seems just annoyed with having to be here still. This woman's just like working on her wrists. She seems to be having a wrist issue that she's trying to work out. A lot of people over here are looking at something off to our left. Blacks for Trump have mostly been on their phones for the last half hour. It's getting he's losing them. Glitchy video from RSBN.
Is everybody having, I mean, look, our country's embarrassed. The whole world is laughing at us. But is there any place better to be than a Trump rally?
Little self-centered there. Who is that a picture of up on the screen?
In conclusion, everyone here tonight knows that the extreme left will stop at nothing to destroy
In conclusion.
the America we love and the American dream. But with all of you in Georgia and conservative patriots all across the nation, we will end their reign of radicalism in Washington, D.C. forever. With a Republican Congress, we will fight for more jobs for Georgia families, fair trade for Georgia workers,
Trump's
and more Georgia
speeches
factories.
always have the feel of a fourth grade book report. In conclusion,
Phrase, made in the USA. You don't hear that too much. And you know, they are starting to say very strongly, Merry Christmas. Remember when I first ran?
Super
I said,
strong.
you're going to say Merry Christmas. They're all saying Merry Christmas again. We better move fast because that'll end also like everything else.
yeah, it's like, it's so weak to say in conclusion. It's like if I was doing one of these things, I would start my conclusion by getting the crowd fired up rather than, oh, conclusion. I would say, so here's the bottom line, my friends. Right? Or you're still shifting the section.
Border disaster, we will end catch and release, and we will end illegal immigration once and for all in our country, just as I had already done very successfully, more so than has ever taken place at our border. We had done it before. We will hold China accountable for unleashing the virus and for the unfathomable suffering they have caused, and charge them trillions of dollars in reparations. We will rein in big tech monopolies, reject left-wing cancel culture, and we will restore the right to free speech in America. You don't have free speech anymore.
No. It's been lost. It's over.
You don't have a free press anymore. We will protect
The press, we don't have a free press, and yet the media is too free to criticize Trump. Put that one together, guys.
Judeo-Christian values and principles of our nation's founding.
What a lunatic. There's no free press, and sue the New York Times because they wrote something negative.
Our military, and give our police officers, Border Patrol, and ICE, these are great, great patriots, and law enforcement generally, our 100% support. They will not be defunded. We will ban critical race theory in our classrooms.
Yep.
We will
He
ban
will also ban the virus.
We will ban it from the workplaces, and we will ban it from our federal, state, and local governments. We will restore patriotic education for our schools, and we will teach our children to love their country, honor our history, and to always respect our great American flag.
Really pumping it up, huh? All right, guys, let's take bets. YMCA when he's done or not? What do you think?
Our country is up against some of the most sinister forces and entrenched interests that anyone has ever seen in our country. We've never seen anything like is happening today. But no matter how big or powerful they may appear, you must never forget this nation does not belong to them.
I forgot about this guy. This guy almost seems to be asleep now.
It belongs to you.
He was back in action.
This is your home, this is your heritage, and our magnificent American liberty is your God-given right. The citizens of the United States of America will not be told how to live, how to think, what to do or what to say by corrupt and incompetent politicians.
No, they'll be told by Trump.
Tyrants, left-wing bullies, or anybody else, because we are a free, proud, and sovereign people, and we have to take back our country. We are descended from the heroes and patriots.
It actually says a lot that this is the only guy really who can get people on the right even at all fired up. Like, I know he's sort of lost the crowd, but the fact that this is all they have, nothing. This is all they have.
Tears to build this country into the greatest nation in the history of the world, and we are not going to let it be taken away from us. Our ancestors summoned the courage to fight and win our independence against the most powerful empire on earth. Our parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents stormed the beaches to crush fascism. They found the strength to topple communism. And we will not be afraid of woke lunatics who despise everything those heroes fought so hard for, and those heroes fought and died for. There is no mountain we cannot climb. There is no summit we cannot reach. There is no challenge we cannot meet as long as we remember that we are Americans, and there is nothing that America...
That's almost verbatim a Biden line that Biden uses too.
We will not bend. We will not break. We will not yield. We will never give in. We will never give up. We will never back down. We will never, ever surrender. My fellow Americans, our movement has just begun. In fact, our
I hope that's
fight
not true.
has only just...
I was hoping it was over.
This is the greatest movement in the history of our country, perhaps the greatest movement in any country, and we're going to make...
It's a little bit pompous.
To the end, our country will be stronger than ever before. Because the fact is, we are one movement, one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. So with love of our nation swelling in our hearts and the spirit of America stirring in our souls, I say these words to you tonight.
God bless
We will make America powerful again.
the United States.
We will make America wealthy again.
Oh, God.
We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again.
You guys calling for a pizza.
We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. God bless you, Georgia. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you.